If you are tired of your products tanking, shopping at the sites and buying the same products as everyone else is buying, this video is for you. I'm going to kind of reveal a technique I've been using, found a ton of stuff doing it. I sell mainly online arbitrage, and it doesn't require using a computer. I know sounds crazy, but I am going to break this down. I call this the ABS framework. Stands for always be sourcing, and you're probably like, duh, obviously the more you source, the more you find. But we're sourcing in a much different method. We're not just mindlessly scrolling through a computer. We're actually using our head, which hopefully could give you an advantage. Actually thinking through some stuff, getting creative, I have found has led to some of the most profitable items that I've been selling. And stick around to the end because I'm going to go over a live example, how I did this on my birthday, and kind of exactly how you could apply the principle. Always be sourcing. Why always? Always, because you're always exposing yourself to new things. Even so, for example, I've been going to the gym every day, so I'm always sourcing at the gym. I'm not doing it on my computer. I'm not doing it, looking stuff up. I'm literally walking around the gym. I say, oh, I see people have this side hustle experiment water bottle. 10 people have it. I wonder, what is that? Who is that? Take a picture, go back home, look it up. Oh, so I see everyone with this protein powder. I see everyone using this chalk. I see everyone using these wraps. So basically you're looking around at what people are doing or what they have or what they're wearing, and then making a mental note, writing it down. You don't want to be taking pictures of people or, anything weird like that. So maybe like clothing items and stuff like that, or stuff that people are wearing, jot that down. But in terms of like, protein powder or wraps or whatever, definitely you could snap pictures of that stuff. So yeah, that is the always part. You're always in a situation where you could learn more, whether sometimes you're searching online, you come across something and you look at the frequently bought together, and then you go into this whole new category. So that is kind of the first part, always. B, obviously, sourcing. So how could you do this? So you want to do this at places, one, where you normally go. So I just gave you the example of the gym, and more importantly, places you never go. So I do not really go into any Walmarts or Targets or any of that. I do everything online. So that's my business, online arbitrage. I use tools like SellerAmp. If you want a free trial, there will be a link below for you. But that's mainly my model. But the reason why you want, and I'm going to give you that example where I never go, and I found kind of the best kind of ideas at the end. But go into these stores, you want to see, one, what is in these people's carts? What are they buying? Who are they with? What are they wearing? Do they have kids? What do their kids have? Most kids today are either, they have a backpack, or they're wearing something, or they're saying, hey, can we get this? I want this. Look, what are those items? So that is where you want to be. So you want to be where you want to go to places you normally go, take a look around. When you're normally going to these places, you're going to see things over and over and over and over again, which is great because there's obviously demand for that stuff. And then places you don't normally go is going to expose you to different things you don't normally see or do. A great example of this is I don't go to a lot of baseball games, but my girlfriend is a big Phillies fan. And when we went to one of the playoff games last year, I was like, I want to work. But I was like, it could be once. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go. And it was one of the best things I've done. Obviously, they won the game. That was cool. But the amount of stuff I jotted down to source, there was, I don't know how much the stadium holds. Let's just say 20, 30,000 people there. A huge sample size of people to look at. Obviously, saw a lot of trends. Everyone had these like clear backpacks on. I was like, what? Like, I've never seen this, heard of this, whatever. And I guess it's because when you go to check into the game, they have to go through your bag. So instead of them going through your bag, you just show them, hey, like, this is what's in it. They're like, okay, you could go. Can't tell you how many people. Was it profitable? No, but it was an idea. What else did people have? They had this was a while ago. So obviously you saw a lot of Lululemon bags, belt bags, all that kind of stuff. A lot of Converse sneakers. I remember seeing a ton of those. Not almost everyone, but a ton of people had these Converse sneakers on. Girls had kind of like these low cut ones, I guess. I don't source any shoes, so I don't know. And then guys had like the high ones, the high top ones. But I was like, like I don't wear that stuff, right? I just wear like kind of Nike shoes or whatever, and I don't really like Converse, so it never really occurred to me. But that is a great example. There were people who, what were they wearing? In my head, I was like, oh wow, if the Phillies win or whatever, anything Phillies, hats, any apparel from Phillies, probably be on sale maybe, or people are just going to want to buy it because they're exciting that they're winning and they're going to the World Series or whatever it happens to be. So that is another good one. Listen, what are people talking about online? What are they buying at the concessions? All this kind of stuff is, you're just always looking, always be sourcing. And one person that I used to listen to a lot, his name is Jim Rohn. He was like an old personal development speaker. He always said, don't trust your memory, write stuff down because you're not going to remember. And I do this all the time when it comes to YouTube videos or social media posts. I'm like, oh yeah, when I get home, I'm going to do that. I'm like, I don't remember what I was going to say. So I try to write down notes or take pictures. Taking pictures is huge just because sometimes it's just easier to be like, oh, like, what is this? Or you could reverse image source it on Google. There's just so much stuff you could do. So that is kind of like the always be sourcing mindset. And this is not to say you should only be working and all. That's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about always have your eyes open, always have your ears open. What's going on? What do people have? Don't be staring at them or be doing weird stuff. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to always be looking around. What do people have? What are they wearing? What are they carrying? What are they talking about? What are they consuming? All that kind of stuff. Who they're with, the stuff that those people have, so forth and so on. So a real life example of this is when I went to on my birthday, we went to an amusement park. So I don't go to a lot of amusement parks. I'm not a crazy roller coaster guy or anything like that. We did get to go on this new roller coaster. It was absolutely insane. It was, I forgot what it's called, Wildcat Revenge or something like that. Absolutely insane. And I felt like I was gonna fall out. Anyway, going there, I was exposed to so much stuff that I am never exposed to. I don't have kids. There are a ton of kids there, so that was a huge eye-opening thing. The place is kind of built around kids because obviously they are the ones who are dragging parents there, or there's a lot of teenagers there, all that kind of stuff. So some things I've noticed that I would have never thought about. So there were actually wagons, like this mesh little wagon kind of thing with wheels and a handle that parents actually put their kids in, and they like wheel them around the park, and they have all their toys and food or whatever else kids need in this wagon. I was like, that's super interesting. I've never seen this wagon. I took a picture. I've not looked into this stuff yet, so if you want to beat me to the punch, go for it. Been kind of busy. But that was one big one. You're like, oh, well, that's so big. That's not very practical. Well, on top of the wagons, there were these like little accessories. So like there were clips to like hold a water bottle, or there were trays that you put in so you could like put the tray in front of the kid and then you put their food on it or whatever you do. That was one example. Another good example, backpacks. So, and you're like, oh, duh, backpacks, but not just for kids. We're not talking about Nike backpacks or back to school. We're talking about all different kinds of backpacks. So there were moms or dads or whoever had backpacks. I know my sister, I was with my niece, she had this backpack and had all these pockets and all sorts of stuff that had all of my niece's stuff in it. And I'm sure that's a very specifically designed backpack that she probably bought on Amazon. That who knows, that could be profitable. Or I'm sure wherever they buy it, you know, there'll be a sale and maybe that turns into something profitable. Another thing, and you could just keep going down these rabbit holes as you see stuff. Shoes. Everyone, teenagers had certain shoes. Older people obviously were wearing the New Balances and stuff like that. Tons of flip-flops and slides. We're getting into that season. So I don't sell that kind of stuff, but it was just kind of like a reminder. Oh, like, you know, this is coming up. Look at what people are doing. There were a ton of people who were like kind of pulled aside, going like this to their kids. They're putting suntan lotion on them. So suntan lotion, baby suntan lotion. There were tons of kids that had food there. A lot of kids' water bottles. I didn't even know kids really had water bottles. I guess that sounds ridiculous, but again, I'm not really in that realm. But yeah, tons of kids with water bottles, tons of kids, you know, a lot of moms and dads who had Tupperware full of Cheerios and all this other stuff, and tray tables, strollers, things that go on strollers. It could go on and on and on. And that's kind of why I really like the idea of, one, going to places you go to all the time, because you're going to see those patterns over and over again. And then more importantly, going to places you don't normally go. I'm going to Kansas City to speak at a conference this week, and there's going to be stuff that I'm going to be looking in the airport. I'm going to be, you know, on the plane. What kind of bags do people have? What are they carrying? You know, what kind of suitcase does everyone have? These places with big populations, like the amusement park had a ton of people there. So it's a great way to be like, wow, I've seen 10 people wearing this. Oh, I've seen 20 people doing this. I've seen 50 people with wagons rolling their kids around. I was like, this is a thing. So that is the framework. That is the principle. Always be sourcing. Get a note in your phone to jot down these ideas, even if they're broad. Be like, baby suntan lotion. You know, like I said before, don't be taking pictures of people or doing weird stuff like that. Just if it makes sense, do it. I took a picture of, you know, the wagon when no one was in it. It was, they like park all this stuff in front of the ride or whatever. So I just kind of took a picture of that. And yeah, always be sourcing. Get pictures in your phone, scroll through them, look this stuff up. So what do you do when you have all this stuff? You look it up manually. So you're going to go to Amazon, type in baby wagon or baby backpack, baby mom backpack, baby dad backpack, or whatever. See what pops up. See if you could see if it's popular on Amazon. Then see if you could find it at a site, or maybe you go to just type that into Google, baby mom backpack or whatever, and then see if you can find it profitably on Amazon. And you just never know what you might be able to find. Hope you found that helpful. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It means the world to me, and I will see you guys in the next video.